Hey friends, the Fragrant Lawyer here. Today, I'm going to review Musk Khabib by Bortnikoff. I'm going to also talk to you about thinking out the box. Stay tuned. All right, folks, before I get into this fragrance, Musk Khabib, I want to say this. It is a fragrance that a lot of people will say, I'm going to stay clear of this. It's got deer musk. I don't know. I don't want anything to do with this. And I want to tell you what that does. It deprives you of some opportunities. If you take that stance that you're not going to do something, taste something, go somewhere, because you got a preconceived idea about it. You know, sometimes things work well that way. You know, you get a bunch of ants and they crawl along and they do the same thing and they get their job done. We're not ants, we're human beings. We have free thoughts. We have free speech and all those beautiful, wonderful things. Let's make use of them. So if there's a particular dish that someone says, hey, is great, another friend says, well, I don't know about that, give it a shot. What do you got to lose? Okay, you get a stomachache maybe, but maybe you're going to enjoy it, right? Place to travel. Oh man, don't go there. It's too cold. Why would you want to go there? And you know what? You go and they got the best people, the best food, the best parties. You never know. Hey, common sense, of course, right? You don't go to war zones and things like that unless you're a soldier of fortune or you're into that kind of crazy adventure, right? And that's your own thing. So what I'm trying to say is, don't judge a book by the cover. You got to try things. Sometimes you're going to find that, hey, I'm so glad I did this. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to talk to you about this fragrance here, Musk Khabib, and that's the same thing. So it's a fragrance, really, I guess it was perfumed by Dmitry Bortnikoff, I believe. And he is a Russian by nationality, and he worked this out of Thailand, actually. And let me tell you something about Dmitry. I think it was back in 2020. I got this fragrance. There was a couple more. I think it was an amber cologne as well. And you email him. He emails you back personally. As far as I know, he's a stellar guy. From what I've seen and what I've, you know, how his communication with me was in terms of that. I always pay for my fragrances. Didn't get this free or anything like that. I'm not here to promote anybody's products in that sense, okay? So enough about Dmitry himself. But let me tell you about this fragrance itself. Okay, top notes. You got bergamot, you got cardamom, and you've got nutmeg. Mid notes, you have cedarwood, you got your langalang, because I think there's some floral for sure. Now, the base is where it gets amazing, I think. Ambergris, deer musk, yes, deer musk. Oakmoss, vetiver, tonka bean, and vanilla. And it is ever so smooth. You know, when you first spray it, I'm going to spray it in here. When you first spray it, look, it can be a hit or miss because there's a sharpness to it. But it quickly settles down. You know, I wouldn't say spray right before you get in your car and you go on a date or something like that. There is a sharpness to it. I wouldn't say wild, but it's kind of sweet. Okay, it's almost honey-like. And it quickly settles in to, wow, a smooth, musky type of fragrance. You know, you can feel the vetiver in it. Now, my experience in wearing Musk Khabib is this. Look, I've been out with friends before in the backyard, having some drinks. You know, I have a driver drive me home because, you know, you have a few drinks. You know, after I got dropped off, you know, the guy's like, what are you wearing, man? You know, and it was a point, it was very late in the evening where I had certainly kind of probably forgotten what I'd worn. I had a few drinks, forgotten what I'd worn, but also was many hours later. That's one experience I've had with this. Now, it can be polarizing because the initial notes are you know, there's a combination of honey and sweetness in there, I think, and maybe the nutmeg that is you know, it could be putting off, I think. But to me, it doesn't. But I understand if you know, I've seen reviews and people may say that, and that's their issue, right? To me, I love it. It's, you know what, it's almost like, it's like an aphrodisiac. This deer musk, you know, that's what deers use to attract other deer. Now, we're not deer, obviously. We've got our own pheromones, right? Exactly. but I really think it's an attractive fragrance that can attract the opposite sex. It does, you know, and you know, I'll talk about my experiences too. I'm a married guy, so, you know, mine would be at home, obviously. But I'm telling you, this is one of those fragrances that is very sexy, has a sex appeal. Now, if you didn't try it because you say, oh, deer musk, I don't want, you know, a fragrance with deer musk, or you get put off by that, you know, you sample it and you get put off by that initial smell, you'll miss out on this one. You know, I really think you would. Same way you might miss out if someone says, hey, try this cuisine, or, you know, when you say absolutely not, right? You know, right? Use your own judgment. You know, people talk and they all have their own opinions. They sometimes want to impose it on you, and everybody, you know, we all try to do that to each other in some ways, you know. But I say this, you make your own decisions, be your own person. Try something once. If you don't try it, you know, you just don't know if it's good or bad. So take that, you know, in point. I'm not trying to lecture and say take my points. You know, one could say that, but I'm not. I'm just trying to say keep an open mind, right? It's an amazing fragrance. Dmitry Bortnikoff, sorry, fragrance, lovely fragrance. Musk Khabib, give it a shot. And I'd love to hear your comments about it. And remember, the Fragrant Lawyer channel, I want to keep putting videos out there. I've got a TikTok channel. I want to get subscribers there as well, and Instagram too. I'd really appreciate it. And I'm going to keep putting out good content, and I'm going to keep telling you the truth, saying how it is, you know. Some people may like it, some people may not, and I'm always learning myself. If you got some comments and I learn from that, I always respect that. And I do reply to everybody's comment as well. It may take me a day or two, but I always get back to people. So please like, subscribe, and take care, my friends. I'm your Fragrant Lawyer.